Today I'm gonna batch an entire month of Instagram Reels content, hopefully, and the clock is ticking, so let's get started. So it's been a while since I've done this. For the past few years, I haven't really batched my Instagram content. I've more so taken it week by week, which to be fair, has worked for me. At the beginning of 2023, I had about 30,000 followers on Instagram. And since then, my Reels strategy has helped me reach over 160,000 followers. But September is going to be a very busy month for me, especially in terms of my long form content, and I've got a lot of travel planned. So I wanna do my future self a favor by batching all of the Reels that I wanna post in September. So it's time for a batching marathon. I hope I survive this. Before we can film anything though, we need to plan. The planning stage is crucial so that we can be as efficient as possible when we're filming later. So I've been gathering up some ideas over the past few weeks and I've added them into my content calendar database already. I've been taking some time off in August, so my ideas have just been kind of piling up. So I have all of my ideas already in my content calendar. This view is all of my short form content laid out, as well as my long form content like my YouTube videos, and honestly it's kind of stressing me out. So I have this view as well, which is just a list of all of the short form content that I plan to post throughout the month of September. If you're wondering why I keep saying short form, that's because all of the stuff that I post as Reels, I post the exact same video to YouTube Shorts and TikTok. And yes, I will make all of these 60 seconds or less so that they work across all platforms. You can see all the key information here in this chart. I've actually labeled each one by what type of content it is. This will help me know how I need to film it and then kind of like break up my filming day based on those formats. But it also ensures that I'll have a nice balanced feed with different types of videos throughout the month. Talking head videos, basically just clips of me talking to the camera about some concept or strategy. Tutorials are gonna include mostly voiceover with demo footage. B-roll reels, these are just basically montages of B-roll set to trending music with text over top. And then vlogs are exactly what they sound like. It's a vlog. Okay, but first we need to go through and actually write all of the scripts and create the shot list for each reel, so I know what I'm saying to the camera and what additional footage I need to capture for it. Okay, so we've been working away writing here for a hot minute, and I thought I'd show you an example of what this looks like so you know the level of detail that I'm using. Okay, so here's a script for a tutorial that I'm gonna do about how to include camera movement in your shots even if you're filming yourself. So basically for every reel, I have two columns like this. There's the script, like the text, and then there's the visuals that go along with it. I write all of my short form scripts word for word, and I'm gonna deliver it to the camera exactly like this. I don't do that in my long form videos because I have more time, I feel like, so I can be a little bit more off the cuff on YouTube, but because I'm trying to do this in 60 seconds or less, every single word counts, so I'm gonna say it exactly like this. Then in the right hand column is the visual. So you can see I am pretty like loose with this. I'm not being overly specific. I'm not storyboarding it, but I am making a kind of bullet point list of what I want the visuals to be. So the beginning is just gonna be talking head, me speaking to the camera. There'll be dynamic captions like always. Then I want some B-roll clips of me setting up the phone tripod. Then I want a close-up of the phone on the tripod. Then I'm gonna swap over to kind of editing mode and do a top-down shot of my phone screen as I, show how to do it. So that's basically what my tutorial planning looks like. Now let's take a look at this B-roll one. So this is basically just gonna be a montage. So all I've done here is made a list of the text that I'm gonna show on the screen and then the visuals that I wanna get. One clip I kind of already have in my library, so I don't have to worry about getting that. So yeah, it's basically just a checklist of the B-roll that I want. Not gonna lie, this takes a long time and it is like tiring, like brain tiring. Like it's a lot to think about. Make sure you stay hydrated. But we're getting through it. Now that all of the scripts are written and we've planned out all of the shots that we want to gather, I'm gonna take a minute to strategize the order in which I'm gonna shoot all of this stuff. I find this is the stage that can get very overwhelming. Like you've got all your content planned out and then you're like, how am I gonna film all of this? We're gonna plan that out now so we don't get overwhelming. All we need to do is follow our checklist. If we take a look at our list here, most of what I actually need to film is talking head and tutorial videos, because you'll notice for some of these that I've labeled as B-roll, I actually have already switched the status over editing, and that is because I can use clips from my B-roll library to make those. So I don't actually need to film anything for those today. There are a few B-roll shots that I need to get though for some of these videos, and we're gonna include that in our plan. Oh, and the one vlog video that I have planned as well, I actually already filmed that yesterday because I knew today was gonna be too overwhelming with filming all of these reels and this video at the same time. So I was like, let's just do that a different day. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is create 3 different groups of videos that we're gonna essentially film in one time block. Part of why we're doing this is because I am going to switch outfits for each of these groups, because, you know, I'm no fashion girly, but I don't want to be wearing just the same green t-shirt and jeans in every single video on my Instagram for the next month. This is also good because it gives us a natural break in between sets of filming to just take a breather, get some water, like stop for lunch, whatever. In each of these groups, I'm gonna do a couple of tutorials and a couple of talking head videos, and then throw in a few of the B-roll clips that I need to pick up. This will also mean that my B-roll has a variety of outfits. All right, now we have a plan and a strategy for filming all of this stuff. I know it might feel like we've spent a lot of time in the planning phase, but trust me, it is so worth it. This will make your filming feel so much less overwhelming. And it has the added benefit of those outfit changes just for some visual variety. Speaking of which, next up, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna pick out my 3 different outfits, and then finally, we're gonna start filming. All right, it is finally time to film, and we are gonna get started with group 1, and I'm actually just gonna wear what I'm wearing right now to start. This is how it's gonna work. I'm gonna set up my camera in my kind of stationary spot for the talking head videos, and I'm gonna record my 2 talking head videos and the speaking parts of the tutorials. We're gonna do that all at once so we don't have to move the camera in between. Once that is done, then I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna film the demo footage, like the top-down footage of like my phone where I'm showing how to do stuff afterwards. And then finally, we'll shoot the B-roll. This will allow for minimum camera movement, and it'll just save us time. Speaking of the camera, this is what we're working with here. I'm gonna film all of my reel today on my Sony ZV-E10 with my 11mm lens. You could 100% do this with your phone. Like, you don't need a fancy camera to film your reels. In terms of audio, I'm gonna be using my DJI lav mics. I love these. I usually use them to film my YouTube videos, but today we're doing a lot at once. So I'm just gonna plug the receiver into the camera, and then I have the little lav mic, which I can clip to myself, or I can just hold and speak into, which is probably what I'll do for a lot of the reels. I know some people get annoyed with the whole holding the tiny microphone thing, but I actually think it's kind of part of the visual language of short form content, and it's something to do with your hands. I think it's like a little bit more visually engaging than if I had this clipped somewhere and then I was just standing still like this. I feel like this draws people in a little bit. So, and you also get really good audio if you hold it close to your mouth. So that's my thoughts on it anyway. Oh, and the tripod I'm using here is from Peak Design, and it's very handy for this because I can just rotate this and mount the camera vertically. So my checklist here, my script is pulled up on my iPad, and then we've got the camera here. Okay, that is 1 reel down. Just, I don't even want to count how many more to go. For your B-roll being stationary tripod shots, but you're kind of stuck with it because you film it into your shots even if you're your own camera operator. Okay, now that I've got all my talking head clips, before I move the camera, I'm gonna do a clip of me just like posing a few different ways that I can use as potential cover images later. So, here we go. Okay, now that we've finished the talking head segments, I can move the camera around and get the extra like demo footage that I need. Okay, group 1, batch 1 of reels are officially filmed, so that feels good. We are long past overdue for lunch, so I'm gonna take a break, have something to eat, swap outfits, and then we're gonna film the second batch. Okay, well, I feel a million times better and refreshed and ready to continue. Okay, let's get back to the list and film our next block of videos. Okay, for this next set, we're gonna switch it up, and I'm actually going to sit in the hammock, which I need to bring down, for that set of A-roll. Just for something a little bit different, instead of having it all with this as the background. Now I'm gonna grab some B-roll. Feels like this is going faster. It's actually time to switch into another outfit already. Outfit number 3. Okay, now we're gonna dive into some tutorials because I kind of got some of the more chatty stuff out of the way. We're gonna dive into the more technical stuff. Also, it's about 2:15 now, if you were curious about a time check. And yes, I am hoping to edit before the end of the day too, so let's get to it. That was our final A-roll clip that we need to get, but we are not quite done. I still have a list of B-roll that I need to gather. So that's what we're gonna do next. I feel like I'm so ready for a coffee. It is unreal, but I'm gonna try to push through and get this done, and maybe I'll get a coffee to edit with. I feel like I could sleep, but I'm done filming. I'm always hesitant to say that because I think I'm gonna think of something that I've forgotten. But for now, let's make a coffee and let's go organize our footage. I set up this beautiful shot and I'm out. I'm so tired, but do I walk somewhere? This is a very sad moment. You know what? I've decided it. I am gonna go get a coffee because I've been filming a lot. I think I deserve a little reward, okay? Let's go. Ah, sweet nectar of productivity. Okay, let's get this SD card out and let's get this footage organized. Alrighty, so I always like to open up 2 different Finder windows when I'm doing all of this organization. I just find it easier to manage. So I'm gonna open up my SSD on one side. We're gonna go into my short form folder. And on the left side, I'm gonna open up the SD card with everything on it. Hot tip, if you're taking video files off a Sony camera, I always like to organize by kind because it'll sort out those XML files, which like I don't need. I mean, I'm not sure what you would use them for. Okay, so generally the way that I like to organize this is I'm gonna create a folder for each individual video, and I'm gonna name that folder by the date. So let's pick one as an example. Okay, this 5 things to do when you're uninspired, that's gonna be posted on September 3rd. So I'm gonna go ahead and label this 03/09/2024, things to do when uninspired or whatever, just so I kind of remember what it's about. And that is where I'm gonna put the file for that video. So we're gonna go ahead and do that for all of them. Okay, that was a lot of file organization, but now it's time to make sure that I have all of the B-roll that I need for all of these reels. So I've got all the A-roll that I shot today, plus the few clips of B-roll organized, but now we gotta go grab our other visuals. So one way I do this is I actually have my own B-roll library. I've tried to label all of the files by what's happening in the video so that they're quite searchable. But if there's anything that I haven't had time to film or that is gonna be really difficult for me to film myself, that is where Storyblocks comes in. I swear Storyblocks is like one of the biggest hacks for content creators, and they also happen to be the sponsor of today's video. Okay, here's the thing. Creating videos can take a lot of time and things can go wrong. Like maybe you want to get an epic drone shot of the Airbnb you're staying at in Mexico, but that pesky palm tree just jumps in the way. Or you're trying to use your slider for a cool push-in shot and you didn't quite calculate the balance of it all. Instead of struggling to shoot all of your own B-roll, you should have used Storyblocks. Storyblocks has an extensive library of stock footage, animation templates, sound effects, background music, and more. You can get access to all of this high quality stock media for one predictable subscription price. And you're covered to use it in all of your content across social media, so you don't have to worry about getting copyright strikes. Whether you need a specific clip for a YouTube video or some beautiful stock footage for a reel, you can try it out for yourself at storyblocks.com/Katie or click the link in the description. And thanks again to Storyblocks for sponsoring this video. We filmed everything. We have gathered our B-roll. It is organized. Oh, it is so organized. It's time to actually edit now. I'm gonna be honest, y'all, batching content in 2024 is so different than batching content in 2022, which is I think the last time that I did this, made this kind of video. It is now 4 o'clock in the afternoon and I have been after this solid like all day. I took about a half an hour break to eat lunch and otherwise like this has been it. And yeah, we're just gonna try our best. But if I'm honest with you, I feel like this is where it's like truly revealed, like all of the video titles that you see, which I know I am like guilty of as well, that's like batching all these reels in one day, or even I've seen people say like batching 30 days of reels in 1 hour. Like, I don't believe that for a second, okay? Unless you're making the most generic AI generated stuff, like you cannot do that, okay? Every single one of my reels is like a planned out strategic piece of content. I just don't think it's possible to make that many in such a short time. So that's just a moment of transparency for you. I'm gonna try my best to get a few edited before the end of the day, but there's no way that I'm gonna edit all 18 reels that I'm planning to post throughout September in an hour. Okay, so I like to edit my reels in Premiere Pro still. Lately I've been experimenting with DaVinci Resolve for my long form videos, but Premiere is still my like reels and short form editor. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and just import our entire folder for September. And that will maintain all of the file structure that I've been working so hard at creating. And so all of the little folders, the subfolders will be in here with all of our dates. And so everything is kind of listed in order, so it'll be easy to find. So that is my first step, and it's satisfying how quickly that works. And from there, we can just start diving into each individual reel. So I opened up this folder. I think this is the clip that I'm gonna go with. So what I'll do is just select the clip and do new sequence from clip. And it'll automatically make my sequence the right size. Also, I'm right now using like the vertical editing view that comes with Premiere Pro just to like make this a bit bigger on the side here. And with this reel, I think I'm just gonna add a few jump cuts and then find some trendy background music to go with it. But really each individual edit is kind of different. So I'm just gonna kind of work my way through the list and try to edit as many as I can before the end of the day. We'll see how far we get. Okay friends, it is just about 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, and I have to say a good effort has been put in today. I definitely went into this challenge with high expectations, and I really thought that I could get all of this done in one day, which now I question my former self's sanity. I feel like it was a good experiment. It's a good lesson. And you know what? I was very efficient. I got everything filmed, so that's a huge W. However, there is still a long way to go with editing. I have 3 pretty much edited, but they're still gonna need their captions written, their cover photos designed, and they're gonna need to be exported and uploaded, so... But progress has been made. I do think that I've made a big dent in this work, and I think my future self is going to appreciate it when I'm doing a ton of traveling in September and this is all gonna be ready. Because at least I could, you know, edit these on some of my flights. Right. Oh, hey, by the way, welcome to the end of the video club. You made it here. That means you are officially the coolest person who's watched my video today. Really appreciate you being here. Let me know if you like these batch creation, kind of come along with me vlogs. Honestly, it is very tiring and hard to make, so I hope you appreciated it. But it's fun as well. It is fun. If you want to know more about the Instagram strategy that took me from 30,000 followers to over 160,000 followers over the course of the last year and a half or so, you should definitely check out this video all about that. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having adventures and following your dreams, and I'll catch you in the next video when hopefully I have all these reels edited. Okay, bye.